What's happening, guys? Mathematics is back again. You know what, so let's get into it. Okay, guys. So this is one of the fragrances which I would highly recommend if you've not tried it before. Many reviews have been done it already. This one came out in 2017. I, however, personally didn't necessarily like the opening initially. But as I've allowed my nose to mature when it comes to fragrances, this was definitely a fragrance which I would highly recommend if you've not necessarily had it before. And this is a fragrance to me, guys, which very first day, I was getting compliments. On the very first day he's wearing it. You know, it was one of those fragrances, guys, which I must admit, if you're into Dior, Dior Pour Homme, Dior Pour Homme Intense, if you're into Valentino Uomo, slightly more Valentino Uomo Intense, this smells like a variation of that with an element of this type of, how could I say, this vanilla note, some tobacco in there, I think. Maybe some sort of pepper, some slightly sort of spicy notes that you get maybe in line with slightly about Spice Bomb, something along those lines. That's what I picked up on initially when I opened this, when I smelled this one. Now for me, guys, this is a relatively cheap fragrance. I believe you can get 100 mils quite easily for about £50 or so in the UK. I paid around about £50 for this in a box set, and it also got a other decant, which is about 20 mils as well in that box set, or you can get it with some form of shower gel, whatever it may be. Made in Paris. This is an eau de parfum concentration. I believe it's made in Paris. Mais en France, oui, c'est en France. C'est fabriqué en France. So it's made in France, guys. And yeah, 100 mil. This is the sprayer. Very good atomizer on there. Unfortunately, it's not a metallic cap. I think they would have really done some good work if it was, but hey, the cost of it isn't bad. Really can't complain. I think this is a well-designed bottle in itself. It is mature, it's masculine, and again, this is the parfum concentration. You really don't need a lot when it comes to spraying this one. So without further ado, from the note breakdown. So this is black pepper in the top notes, according to Fragrance, with lavender and bergamot in the top. Then in the mids, we have some orris with some cinnamon, I believe, is in there, and also we have some cloves. In the base, we get this patchouli, this vanilla, which seems to be such a key note in this one. And then we also get some tolu basilum, tonka, and also I believe there's some type of amber in there. Let's have a quick look and see. It's not giving me that. But definitely, guys, for me, straight away, mit die Frauen, for me, that is sehr good, sehr good. So with the ladies, guys, I'm telling you, first day, compliments. It was a case of, wow, what is that fragrance? What are you wearing? There's a lot of vanilla in this one, isn't it? I was like, wow, okay, yeah, how do you pick that out? Like, how do you know? Because, wow, this is just like one of those fragrances. And it is one of those fragrances, guys. It is one of those fragrances. If you've not tried it before, guys, I would say go and get maybe a 50 mil. You can probably get that for about 30, 40 pounds in the UK. Try it out. Try it out. I was a little bit, with the opening for me, it smells to me like it's not that lipstick vibe that you get from Dior with the how could I say this sort of not quite feminine side of things, but it's this type of it's that lipstick sort of, not cherry vibe, but lipstick handbag vibe I'm getting from that. You don't get from this one. I think compared to Valentino Uomo Intense has slightly more, maybe like a suede in the base that you don't really get from this one. This one seems to go slightly sweeter. Both are good fragrances. I think with this one, guys, you seem to get slightly more of this type of vanilla note coming out there. The leather note is there, I believe, but it's not as heavy. Even if it's not noted on Fragrantica, there's definitely like a leather note somewhere in there. But it doesn't feel as heavy as well in the base. Tonka keeps it sweet. The vanilla really comes out into its own. After that, it's somewhat linear, but you get this nice scent trail, you get this nice bubble. For me, this is definitely, I would say, quite easily a 4 out of 5. All hands down. Price point is relatively cheap, £50 for 100 mil. It lasts very easily, guys. I'm talking about maybe 4 or 5 hours without even necessarily choosing to reapply. I personally may reapply beforehand because I've got a little decant I might take with me, but I get that scent bubble, I get the spiciness, I get the vanilla, and the cinnamon is there. It's not, as I say, it's not Spice Bomb, it's not a sort of type of sweetness going on, it's not an explosive sort of thing, but it's masculine, definitely for the cold winter, autumn, maybe for the office around this time of year, especially in the UK, you could probably get away with this one, guys. I think this is just such a good fragrance. It's such a good one. It's one I'll make sure that is on my list. Now, in respect of the original version of this one, not the EDP, I can't really give too much on that one because I did have a smell of it, but it just didn't seem to really have any lasting power for me. And when I'm in the store, sometimes on the spraying fragrances, it gets a little bit difficult because you're thinking to yourself, I've smelled so many fragrances now, I can't really distinguish one between the other. This one, however, is standing out for me. Now, funny enough, I actually asked a few ladies also what their thoughts were on this one in a different environment, in a different setting. This is sometimes you got to be careful, guys, when it comes to ladies' reactions. You see some of these videos on YouTube, and I think the difference, again, with what I'm talking about and what some of the other guys are talking about, I'm not being necessarily, how could I say, pushed in any direction. I'll tell it straight how I feel it is. And for me, guys, no nonsense reviews is about getting to the point. So I had one lady say to me, I don't like that fragrance. This smells to me like an old man. That's what she said to me. Another lady who's slightly more mature smelled that fragrance, having not listened to the previous lady, smelled it and said, oh, that smells like a nice fragrance. That actually smells quite interesting. Then the other girl came over and said, I don't like that fragrance. It smells like an old man. And then what happened? The previous girl then said, oh, well, I also don't like it now either. So this is what I'm trying to say, guys. When ladies say stuff, don't worry about it. If it works for you, enjoy it. This is not a fragrance which is so along the spectrum that it's too masculine, it's too leather heavy based and everything else like that. It's not one of those fragrances. This is my opinion. It's a relatively calm fragrance. It's a mature fragrance. It's a masculine fragrance. There's a level of depth to it, which again, if you enjoy the Dior Homme Valentino Uomo, you'll pick up on what this seems to have. This, in my opinion, is a standalone fragrance. It's not necessarily like the other ones. The other ones go in slightly different directions, and I think this one really stands out with this vanilla note that is in the base. And I think that's what really pushes it through for me. The lasting power is there. Easily again for longevity, easy again for the price point. It's a definite buy, guys. It's a definite buy. So try this one out, guys. If you've not tried it out before, I would highly recommend it. Definitely recommend it when it comes to these designer fragrances. Givenchy, they've inspired me to probably even go and buy some of the other bottles because I think this is a very good release. And I will see what comes from that. But by all means though, guys, please let me know. And if you have tried this one out before, do not forget to leave some comments down below in the box. And also, guys, please like the channel, like the video. There's nothing wrong with liking a video. If somebody speaks to you and gives you some inspiration and tells you something that maybe could save you some money and some time, why not just like the video and stop being a hater, man, and just like the video. And anyway, guys, hopefully see you soon on the next ones. I'm gonna get some ladies' opinions on this one actually, because actually a lady who recommended the original version to me, and I smelled this one, I was like, yeah, I need to get this one actually. But we'll see what happens when she is around. Felicia, yeah, I'll have a chat with her and see. Okay, guys, hopefully see you soon on the next video, and do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Ciao.